London Mayor Sadiq Khan has been making headlines for proposing a pilot decriminalisation of cannabis and Class B drugs in the capital. The new proposals mean that Londoners aged 18 to 24 caught with small amounts of non-Class A drugs could be referred to courses and counselling instead of facing arrest. Khan's party leader, Keir Starmer, however, does not agree, saying earlier this week that on drugs legalisation, I've said a number of times and I'll say again, I'm not in favour of us changing the law or decriminalisation. I'm very clear about that. Well, let's look deeper at this policy now from Sadiq Khan. Jonathan Nadler is co-founder of LYPHE Group, a European medical cannabis clinical telehealth and dispensing ecosystem. I'm not sure I know what all of those words mean, but it sounds like it's a medical cannabis company. Welcome to the programme. First of all, can we explain the difference between decriminalisation, as small pilots are being proposed by Sadiq Khan here, and legalisation, as we've seen in states in America, in Canada and elsewhere?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So it's very simple. Decriminalisation means it's still not legal. It's just that if caught with a small amount of the drug on your person, you won't face the criminalisation that you currently do today. In a legal market, it's properly structured. It's set up in a way that allows for taxes to move smoothly into government's palms.
So I suppose one of the criticisms of the decriminalisation approach is that you don't collect the tax benefits from a legal system. You don't have the same regulation and safety checks, but also it's all in the hands of criminal gangs.
Well, look, this is about reforming policy to protect the people that are consuming drugs. There's been 50 years of a drug act that simply hasn't worked. So from our perspective, this is actually about how we stop criminalising people and actually help them, care for them. We know from a YouGov report that more than 1.4 million people use cannabis in the UK for a medical condition. Why should they be criminalised? This is about us trying to protect our population, not put them in prison for potentially taking a drug to cope, to live a better life. So we want to see a reform of a policy that is way too old. I mean, what policy could possibly last 50 years around drug-related subject matters? We want to see it reformed, and Sadiq Khan is putting the cat amongst the pigeons.
It's interesting because there's been a number of opinion polls in recent years that seem to show the public has massively shifted on this issue, particularly with regard to cannabis. The public used to be opposed to decriminalisation or legalisation, and now they seem to be moving much further in favour of it. Is it your view that politicians are starting to catch up with where the public already are?
Yes, some are, clearly, but lots aren't, and we don't quite know why. I think it's worth saying that politicians did change the law in 2018. You can go and get cannabis on a prescription legally, but not enough people know about it. So they did do a job. They did a job to change the scheduling of cannabis so that if you needed it for a whole host of different conditions and ailments, and we see hundreds of these vulnerable patients through our clinic, the medical cannabis clinics, on a monthly basis, and it's there to help them. But they haven't done much more than a slight shift in 2018, believing that was enough, and we wash our hands of it now, job done. But in actual fact, it hasn't gone far enough. You've got specialist doctors prescribing medical cannabis. GPs can't prescribe yet, and people don't know about medical cannabis. It's treated as a last resort. It's not frontline medicine. Yet, compared to lots of the drugs that are being prescribed legally from pharmaceutical companies, the safety profile for medical cannabis is, in some respects, a lot better.
Wow, and it's interesting looking across to many states in America, to Canada, to Germany now, to the Netherlands, of course. It looks like this world is moving in one direction on this. I wonder if the UK can grasp this opportunity, because, of course, it is an opportunity, I believe I'm right in saying, that we were or are the largest exporter of legal cannabis in the world. I'm afraid we've run out of time on this interview, Jonathan Nadler, but thank you very much for joining us and talking us through that very, very interesting topic.